Shout out to my clan members, Tarek, Ant, and Asaph. They were willing to run the final mission of Brooklyn with me to increase my chances of getting the Catalyst mask. Some of you who've watched the Division content from a few years back know that I've been the one build YouTuber forever. I've been using the Eclipse build for like 5 years, almost 5 years now, the status effect build. So this mask was one that pulled me out of hiding. I've not been on the Division for a while, but in seeing a lot of what's been going down, somebody mentioned something about this mask, and I was like, guys, if we can get this mask, it'll kind of be nice. And so my clanmate said, hey, man, if you want, you can hop on in, and we'll be happy to, pretty much run the mission with you and see if you might get it. We ran the first run on Heroic. Somebody got it, and it was Asaph who got it, and he dropped it for me. So I'm really excited. These are my roles that I have on there. What I want to do, though, is in this video, I want to tell you exactly what you need to do to increase your chances of getting this mask. No, you don't have to dance around the boss 50 times before you shoot him. You don't have to go into some secret area and then, do a freaking jumping jacks. All you got to do is pretty much go on Discord. That's all you got to do. Why? Because there's a group of Division players in the LCN clan that are constantly playing the game and will be happy to run missions with you to help you get whatever items that you may want, because they're already playing the game anyways, right? Many of them have already made a lot of efforts in most of the achievements in the game. They have the gear that they want for the most part. So really, a lot of these gentlemen are coming in to play the Division game because they enjoy the Division game. Some of the ladies in here as well are coming in to play the game because they enjoy the game. You might as well hop in the server. I'll leave a link in the description and say, hey man, I need help trying to get this item, this mask, this hunter, or whatever the heck it is. But in this case, what happens is, as you play the mission, more people are also in there. And so, yes, RNG is a thing. It's random because the developer said it should be. And if somebody gets the mask and you've basically put in word for dibs, they will be happy to drop the mask for you. The mask is a nice looking mask. It has some perks that it gives for, status effects and stuff. And right now, what I've heard from the, grapevine is that the mask is not fully working as intended in terms of its design. It hasn't necessarily, been tuned properly by the developers. Well, this is a shame, but, when they decide that they're going to go ahead and tune it, I'm happy that I'm going to be ready, hopefully, God willing, to basically go ahead and use this mask and light up some NPCs. I'll show you the stats in terms of the, individual pieces of the mask, and I'll show you basically its talent. It's something that's actually pretty cool, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably looking forward to getting, the mask as well. Like I said, I was just fortunate to, basically go ahead and get it after the Army Terminal mission. That's what I was looking for. So here is my, Catalyst mask. I just swapped it out with my Vile mask. I've been running the Vile mask since it came out in season 2 or 1 of Warlords of New York. Like, oh my gosh. All the way back in almost like 2019, 2020, I've been running this friggin' mask. And so it does a good job. It helps me do and, build the way that I want to build. It helps me pretty much achieve what I'm trying to achieve in group play and group setting. I've literally, I kid you not, guys, Eclipse Protocol, give me a freaking Golan, or give me, what's the other one that I use from time to time when it comes to Eclipse? I'll use maybe in some cases Wyvern to mix it up here and there. Electric came out along the lines of when I was taking a hiatus from the Division, but I never bothered even farming Electric. But that's also another, piece of the whole puzzle as well in terms of status effect and so on and so forth. Perhaps the developers have even launched something with status effect, and I have no idea what it is, but Eclipse is doing the job for me. So what does Catalyst, what does the Catalyst mask do? It gives you the chemical agent buff, which is a catalysis, and what it does is, when you're dealing or receiving status effect, basically burn, bleed, shock, EMP, disrupt, poison, blind, disorient builds, which is right in line with everything that I like to run. This is good. I mean, guys, this brings, it makes my tummy, kind of all gooey and stuff, man. This is nice. It says stacks of catalysis to a maximum of 12. Each stack grants 2% weapon damage, 2% status effect. Each enemy within 25 meters that is affected by a status effect grants +1 stack per second. Being affected, you need a PhD for this freaking thing. Being affected by status effect grant 2+ stacks per second. Stacks decay at 1 stack per second after 5 seconds if no enemies in the radius or you are affected by status effect. Then there's a reactant piece which says at max stacks, killing a status affected enemy grants bonuses for 5 seconds. 25% armor bonus, 20% reload bonus. Stabilizer, which is another one, says while burning, you can maintain ADS without disruption. Already, I'm taking all the stacks, I'm mixing it up with Eclipse. Vile, though, and this is where I look at Vile and I'm like, okay, what is Vile doing here? It applies a, status effect debuff, applies a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds, which is nice, improving its damage, yes, and the total damage dealt equal to 50% of your concussion grenade damage and is increased by your status effect attributes. It's a decent mask. The Catalyst is also a decent mask as well, but it now gives me another avenue to explore a different side of gameplay, which I want to show you here. If many of you know, one of my signature weapons in the Division game is the Pestilence. I like this weapon. It's not a status effect weapon. I think they changed it up. It used to be like a weird damage buff of some kind. But right now, what the Pestilence does, it's that debuff, the weapon damage, the stacks, and whenever an enemy dies, the debuff and the stacks are transferred to an enemy nearby. I like this because this weapon is an LMG and the reload is absolutely slow. So I want to, and this is what I want to do, I want to see how this affects my reload speed, eventually when it starts to work properly, and see if I can leverage that and complement the build with very minimal changes to it. It's fun to go ahead and build a new build and test a new build and all that, but when you've been running a build for years, come on, man. It really becomes an interesting piece of an entire puzzle that you gotta tell yourself at some point, this build need not be touched much, because the build does everything I want it to do in the context that I want to use it in. Legendary missions, I burn everything, and I provide a damage increase buff for my team as well using Survivalist. So this build is a carefully thought out build that can help my teammates and also help me as well. So that's one of the reasons I would love to leverage this mask in this particular context. And again, one thing I like is there's not seemingly right now a lot of competition from the other pieces in exotic gear sets that may provide some kind of a conflict. Like, oh, I kind of need this, these gloves or these knee pads. Well, I can't run this mask now. No. It's in the category of the mask. So if, say, I get myself in a situation where I'm not really liking it, guess what? Swap back to Vile or stay with Catalyst, depending on what it is I'm doing. And that's one thing about a status effect build is, yes, you will be swapping things left and right. For instance, you're playing, and I play with my chem launcher on one hand and my, and weirdly enough, my turret on the other hand, or my Stinger Hive on the other hand, or my Pulse Jammer on the other hand. And that's in 3 contexts. Why would I need a Pulse Jammer? Well, are you playing against the freaking Black Tusks? Well, they come up with all these robots and all this stuff. And if you have a good status effect build, bam, you can jam everything, give your teammates the opportunity to apply damage with a 10% buff to it, to those elements that are under status effects. If you don't want to use that, or maybe you're doing hordes, you can put a Stinger by a door. The Stinger Hive is going to basically go ahead and apply bleed to all of them, executing basically the same thing, or you can place it in a strategic place so that they don't rush you, because these NPCs want to rush you. So what it can do is it can do crowd control with minimal room for error. And what I mean by minimal room for error is if you have your chem launcher and you fire yourself a puff somewhere in the wrong place, you can miss, and that could be a wipe. But with the Hive, you just lay it down. That's all you got to do. You lay it down in the right place, and it's going to come through for you when it comes down to it. For instance, let me show you a very interesting situation. So these gentlemen were kind enough to run pretty much the entire Brooklyn on my PlayStation account with me. And when we got to the, Armory mission, we got to this one place, man. There's this one spot where, a lot of people, reportedly a lot of people wipe here. This place right here. This was a nightmare. But I knew it was more than likely going to be a nightmare. So I started using my Hive as kind of like a trap. I set it up. If you notice, it's already taking out bad guys. I set it up in that particular spot. I should have set it up in the other door. But again, it worked out for us. But there was one really tight sketch right here. Bro, they were peppering us, man. I mean, and I don't have a gun build, but my utility build is designed to basically stop that. So I put the Hive right here, and I was like, God help you. You come close to this particular place. And it kind of kept, 2 of us on the team alive, for a while, for a moment, because every time the NPCs approached, they got, stung by the Stinger Hive, and we could revive everybody else. But again, it's part of my play style. That's how I enjoy playing. I like playing with as minimal, as I want, as I can, without any gunplay, because again, it reduces the, error margin, and I can't shoot for a lick. However, that's all long story. Like I said, if you want to get yourself this mask, you want to improve your chances of getting this mask, link in the description, click it, jump in there, just say, hey, I would like, some help to try to get this mask. And there are people that are going to be willing to run that mission with you. And if somebody that already has it gets it, you're going to basically be in line to getting it. That's what the division is about. That's what the community is about. That's literally what we do. That's how I get all the good stuff, to be very honest. I know you may call it content creator privilege, but I myself have been fortunate to drop something for clan members as well. So that's also another thing. It's the SMG that the Ouroboros. I don't use SMGs, so I was happy to give it to a clan member of mine. It's basically how we roll out here in the division community. So thanks for watching the video. Talk to me in the comment section. Let me hear your questions. And most importantly, if you have any secret sauce on builds that, can leverage a catalyst, please just spill the beans in the comment section. I beg you. If you have a YouTube video or something where I can pretty much go ahead and just steal somebody's build, I am not ashamed to basically use a build that's already good. That's what the division community is about. So thanks again. Talk to me. Peace out.